What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 7, Episode 11, Showtime. So we're starting off with Giselle. Giselle is at home. Karen comes over, and Giselle's house is a big improvement from what we saw the last time. The last time it was still under construction. But the inside of her home, the outside it looks decent, I guess. The inside of her home looks nice. It's a big improvement from what we saw last year. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. All I know is that it is a big improvement from the last time that we saw it. So Giselle and Karen, they gossip about Mia and Jacqueline. Really, it's Giselle telling Karen about all the stuff that she found out about Mia and Jacqueline. For example, Giselle is speculating that Mia and Gordon had bought the Porsche for Jacqueline. And also, she's speculating whether or not Mia is allowing Jacqueline to get a little sample of Gordon because she had given Jacqueline a little sample of her boyfriend way back in the day in college. And so she's wondering if she's also passing Gordon around to Mia. Number one, Giselle, why are you so interested? Why are you so interested in what other people are doing? You know, what these grown consenting adults are doing. Why are you so interested? I don't get it. And another thing, Giselle, if Giselle thinks that this is interesting to us, like she's bringing us something interesting, it's not interesting to me. I don't care about Mia, Gordon, or Jacqueline. I don't care. I have zero interest in what they're doing behind closed doors. I don't care. Wendy, she is taken to the ER for her kidney stones. She's in a whole lot of pain, and she's finally getting those stones taken care of. They were too big to pass on their own, so they're going to have them surgically removed. Moving on from there, Giselle and Robin, they are getting ready for their live show for Reasonably Shady podcast. They are checking out the venue. They're going to be using an auditorium that's going to hold 400 people. I don't know how many tickets they have to sell. They never really said how many tickets Giselle and Robin have to sell. So I don't know if they had to completely sell out the whole auditorium or if they had a limited number of tickets. Robin and Giselle are paying for everything. They have no sponsors, which I found very odd because I would have thought that, they would have had sponsors really wanting to advertise their products at the live show. I don't listen to their podcast, so I don't know if their podcast has sponsors. I'm sure it does, but I really would have thought that the sponsors on the podcast would want to sponsor the live show as well. So, but they say they're going to be paying for it completely out of their own pockets. They talk about whether Juan is going to show up or not. They talk about the wedding or the non-wedding. Robin doesn't want to give a date yet. She tells us in her confessional that she wants to talk to Juan about the prenuptial agreement before they set a date. Candace shoots her video with Trina. That was really nice. Moving on from there, Robin. Robin brings up the prenuptial. Okay, so Robin and Juan are talking, and they're getting along really well. They're talking, and I forgot exactly what they were talking about, but they started off talking, like having really good conversation. So I guess Robin was testing the waters, and she saw that Juan was in a good mood, and so she thought this is the time to strike and bring up the prenup. So she brings up the prenup, and she says to him, as if it wasn't, like, I don't know if it was her idea or her lawyer's idea, but she presents it as if her lawyer brought it up to her and it really wasn't her idea to begin with. Because she says, and then, I heard something about an infidelity clause that can be included in the prenup. And Juan was like, yeah, I don't think that'd be necessary. And then Robin says, but you just never know what might happen. And then Juan says, but we're not those people. We're not those people. So, Robin, it's not necessary. Okay. Robin, checkmate. Checkmate. So, what are you going to do now? Moving on to Wendy. Wendy's back home. She had 2 surgeries to remove her kidney stones. Her mother is also home, is also at her house to help take care of her. And her mother also recently got released from the hospital as well. And her mother says that her issue was that she was working too hard. That's what put her in the hospital. She was working too hard. And so the doctors had told her mom that she needs to slow down. And Wendy says that she herself was told by her doctors that she needs to slow it down and not work so hard and not overdo it too much because, your health is number one. So she's going to have to try to figure out how to slow things down. And then they show us a clip where she was talking about how she knew she had to go to the doctor to deal with her kidney stones, but she kept on putting it off because she kept on having, her work was getting in the way. So it's a lesson learned, definitely, to take her health more seriously and put her health above everything else. Moving on to Mia. So Karen comes over to Mia's house for the sole purpose of passing on gossip. Karen didn't even try to sugarcoat this as any other type of visit. It wasn't like, girl, I was just in the neighborhood and I thought I'd stop by and say hi, or I just wanted to come over and see the little kiddos. No, she came there for the sole purpose of gossiping because as soon as they got a chance to be alone, Karen jumped right onto it. She goes, I just came from Giselle, and Giselle told me. And so she tells me all the stuff that Giselle had told her about, did y'all buy a Porsche for Jacqueline? Are you passing your husband around? Like, what's tea? This is what Giselle is saying. And, Mia confirms that, maybe there was a little something between her and Jacqueline, back in the day when they were in college. Mia confirms that her and Gordon did invite, third parties into their relationship, into their situation. And Karen asked if the third party was Peter. And Mia said no, it wasn't Peter, but it was Peter's girlfriend. And so, why are we talking about this? Why is this remotely interesting? And this is probably a girlfriend that Peter is not even with anymore. Why are we talking about this? Why is this interesting? This is what I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Giselle and Robin, moving on. It is time for the live show. So the homie Juan does show up. He did not disappoint his homie Robin. He did show up. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Karen points out that the seats are empty, and then Karen takes out her camera and she starts recording this, nearly empty auditorium. And she says, Robin likes to record stuff, so I'm going to record stuff. So she records this auditorium. It doesn't matter if they only had a certain number of tickets to sell. They're probably sold out. Maybe the intention was not to completely fill up the auditorium. I don't know. But I can't really criticize them for not selling out all those seats because maybe that wasn't even their goal. Maybe that wasn't even their intention. They were paying for this all on their own. And so they probably have very limited funds that can only sell. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know what the point is. Are they going to go on tour? Are they going to go city to city with this live podcast show? Like, I don't get it. So Candace was not there because Candace said that she did not want to support Giselle. Giselle was not worthy of any support from her. The homie Juan got on stage for a segment or two. I even forgot. Oh, they were doing they did the shady or not shady thing with Juan. I forgot what the hell they asked him because it really wasn't interesting. Ray tells Karen, this is really something. And Karen goes, no, not really. This episode was just not it. Then they have a Q&A segment. And in the Q&A segment, they only showed us one question that was asked. And one lady stands up in the audience and she asked Robin, when is the wedding? Robin says, stay tuned. They made a $14,000 profit on that show. They said they made $14,000 on that show. If you say so. So after the show, instead of like reveling in the success of their very first live, Giselle wants to talk about Mia and Gordon and Jacqueline. Why don't you want to talk about your own business, Giselle? Why don't you want to talk about the next city that y'all are going to hit with the live show? Why don't you want to talk more about your podcast, promoting your own business? You supposedly had a very successful turnout. You made $14,000. So why don't you want to just, bask in the glow of your own success? But you want to talk about somebody else's dirt, somebody else's old, tired, uninteresting dirt. So she corners Jacqueline and she asks Jacqueline if Mia bought her the Porsche. Jacqueline says no, she has her own money to buy her own Porsche. Giselle then asked Mia if Gordon had bought. So then I guess they pull Mia in and they ask Mia if Gordon had bought the Porsche for Jacqueline. And Mia gave some type of ambiguous answer because Mia thinks that she's interesting. Mia thinks that she is so interesting because of what she used to do back in the day when she was a dancer or whatever the hell was going on. She thinks she's interesting, but she's not. She's not interesting. So she gives all of these ambiguous answers, so, to keep people guessing, or she just flat out lies to make herself more interesting than what she really is. And I found this whole discussion and conversation about what Mia and Gordon, what they do, what they don't do, I find it all extremely uninteresting. But let's push through. So Giselle asked if Mia has, allowed Jacqueline and Gordon to hook up and whatever else. I think the answer was no. Mia says that Gordon is not her type. Exactly. If Gordon isn't her type, why would Mia want to, if Gordon is not her type, why would Jacqueline want to have anything to do with Gordon? Like, I don't understand. You just think that just because Mia snaps her fingers and says, Jacqueline, do this, and that she's just going to jump to it when she's not even remotely interested in Gordon at all. Mia herself is barely interested in Gordon. I wish somebody would ask Giselle these type of questions about her. How about somebody asking Giselle about I'm more interested in Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant interests me. Okay. I'm more interested in Jamal Bryant. I want to know how many baby mamas does Jamal Bryant have exactly? I need a flow chart. I need to see all the baby mamas. I need to see all the children, how many children each baby mama has. I want to see the complete flow chart of Jamal Bryant's, all of his children. That's interesting to me. I want to know how many of these children were born while he was still married to Giselle. I want to know, do Giselle's children and these other children, do they all get along like one big happy family? I want to know, on Father's Day, do all of these children show up at Jamal Bryant's house? That's what interests me. Can anybody ask Giselle those questions? Because I'm not at all interested in Mia, Gordon, and Jacqueline. Not at all. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.